Ever since I was a child, I've harbored this peculiar notion, a nagging thought that my subconscious was somehow orchestrating the world around me. It was a feeling akin to being an unwitting director of a play, with every person I met an actor in a script I had unknowingly written. This sensation, once a mere trickle in the river of my thoughts, had grown into a torrential force, impossible to ignore. The first time I truly noticed something amiss was during a family trip to Disney World. I was about 10 then. Among the sea of faces, I spotted a classmate, Jamie. He knew I was going to be there, but he never mentioned his own plans to visit. The odds of us meeting in such a vast crowd were minuscule. Back then, I laughed it off as a wild coincidence, but that encounter planted a seed of doubt in my mind. Years passed, and the feeling intensified. I became a regular at the gym, a place where I sought refuge from the chaos of my life. My work schedule was a jigsaw puzzle of odd hours and unexpected shifts, making my gym visits erratic. Yet no matter when I went, be it dawn, dusk, or the dead of night, I would see the same faces. It was as if they were all part of my own personal loop, actors on a stage set by my subconscious. One weekend, I visited my mom for my nephew's birthday. She lived an hour's drive away. After settling in, I decided to hit the local gym. It was chest and back day, my favorite. As I was powering through my sets, I saw him, a kid from my regular gym back home. The coincidence was too bizarre. I approached him with a half-joking remark. "Hey, are you stalking me or something?" He chuckled, explaining he was called into work nearby. His response did little to ease my growing suspicion. The birthday celebration was a blur. My mind was elsewhere, tangled in a web of confusion and intrigue. I returned home with a plan. I decided to stake out my local gym, to observe the comings and goings, to understand this strange loop I felt trapped in. For hours I sat in my car, a silent observer. As expected, the same kid showed up for his workout. He left after an hour, only to return later for a second session. This was more than odd. It was as if he was part of a scripted routine in my life. When I confronted him, his confusion seemed genuine, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was profoundly wrong. Determined to unravel this mystery, I followed him after his second workout. He drove to a nondescript brick building and entered. Soon after, an identical car arrived, with an identical version of him. They met outside, their actions eerily synchronized. As they touched each other's temples, I stepped out and confronted them. "What's going on? Are you guys part of some government experiment? Am I stuck in some kind of loop?" I demanded, my voice laced with a mix of fear and frustration. Their reaction was chilling. They turned to face me, their eyes morphing into slits, reminiscent of a reptile's gaze. In that fleeting moment, I thought I saw their tongues split in two. Panic surged through me as they reached out and touched my forehead. The world spun, and darkness enveloped me. I awoke alone in the parking lot, the early morning sun casting long shadows on the ground. The encounter left me with more questions than answers. I continued my routine, visiting the gym, but everything felt off. The faces I once found familiar now seemed like hollow masks, each interaction a scripted line in this bizarre loop of my existence. I never saw that kid again, but the incident has left me questioning the very fabric of my reality. Am I living in a loop? A cycle of events orchestrated by some unknown force? Or is it my own mind, creating patterns where none exist? The line between reality and illusion has blurred, leaving me in a perpetual state of doubt and paranoia. Every face I see, every interaction I have, feels like a piece of a puzzle I can't solve. I'm trapped in a loop of my own making, or perhaps one that's been crafted for me. The truth remains elusive, hidden behind the veil of my fractured perception. In this loop, I am both the puppet and the puppeteer, forever searching for a way out of this labyrinth of my own subconscious.